What's going on YouTube? It's Average Joe bringing you another video today. I figured we'd just go over some basic definitions regarding dividends. These are the things you're going to need to look at when deciding on which stock you want to buy. So for starters, what is an actual dividend? And this is the Google definition here. A sum of money paid regularly by a company to its shareholders out of its profits or reserves, typically quarterly, but it can be monthly, biannual, or annually. So obviously you want a company that's paying out of its profits and not out of its reserves, because then its dividend is sustainable. Now, what is the dividend yield? This is the dividend expressed as a percentage of current share price. The company announces a dividend payment for the year, and that is divided by the current share price to give us the yield. Therefore, the yield fluctuates throughout the year, even though the amount of money received is still the same. So, for example, ABC stock, when you buy it, is worth $100 a share, and it announces its annual distribution of $5. So initially, when you buy the stock, the yield is 5%. If the stock goes up to $110, if you buy a share at $110, the yield for that share is 4.5%. But then if you buy a share at $90, the yield increases to 5.55%. So the dividend yield is based on the price you paid for the stock. So if you buy a stock when it's low, it will deliver a higher yield. Either way, you're going to get $5. It's how much you're paying for the share that gives you that $5. You don't want to focus solely on yield, because high yields can show that a stock has struggled recently, and obviously a low yield could just be that a stock is rapidly growing in a short period of time. Now, the next thing you're going to want to look at is what's called the payout ratio. This is the proportion of earnings paid out as dividends to shareholders, typically expressed as a percentage. Companies with a payout ratio greater than 100% are paying their dividends with their cash reserves. This is a good indication a dividend cut is coming. Most companies are between 35 and 75%. Those are considered good payout ratios depending upon the industry and market sector. However, an REIT, or a real estate investment trust, fall under a special category where they must maintain a 90% payout ratio to achieve special tax status. Next, the ex-dividend date. The day on which the share of a company must be owned in order to qualify for the most recent distribution. After this date, the stock price is lowered by the exact amount of the dividend to discourage buying and selling quickly just to qualify for the dividend. The ex-dividend date is super important because for instance, when you own several different dividend-paying companies and you're not sure where to invest, new capital, a good way of looking at it is, well, this company's ex-dividend date is coming up, where this one just paid a dividend, so it might be better to invest in the stock with a closer ex-dividend date, so you do get a dividend quicker. Now, also you need to know the dividend-friendly industries, which are REITs, real estate investment trusts, telecom, cell phone companies, telephone companies, utilities. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory with water, electric, etc. And then tobacco, even though tobacco pretty much just took a monster hit as San Francisco outlawed the sale of menthol cigarettes, which is expected to decrease cigarette revenue by about $50 million. And last is an MLP, which is a master limited partnership. It's pretty complicated, and that's probably best to be explained in a separate video. Now, last but not least, the dividend aristocrats. What are they? How do you qualify for this? So, Dividend Aristocrat is a company in the S&P 500 that has increased its dividend payment for at least 25 consecutive years. Companies that fall under this designation have beaten the S&P 500 over the last 1, 3, 5, and 10-year periods. Currently, there are 50 companies with this status, so it's a fairly exclusive group. This was started in 1989, and there are 26 companies there. Original companies, excuse me. The longest dividend growth streak is 61 years, and it's held by American States Water, or AWR. Dividend aristocrats are so highly valued because of their level of consistency required to continually to increase your dividend for such a long period of time. Now, I mean, if you got to be able to make money to keep up with how you're going to increase your dividend. Now, the average return on the dividend aristocrats is 8.4%, which is about 65% higher than the S&P 500. First-time stock buyers and, well, everyone, I guess. Everyone, you should look into these 50 stocks, do a little bit of research, and at some point you should consider owning some of them. It really helps to balance your portfolio against riskier investments. Alright guys, that's going to do it for us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you want me to do a video on something in particular, or a particular stock or market sector. Just let me know what you're looking for. Thank you, and have a great day.